Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. First of all, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. We just hit 1,000 subscribers this month.
Woo!
Thank you, thank you. And so, as a gift for you all, I have an interview lined up every week with a new person that I have met either on the internet or in real life who caught my eye, caught my attention, and I wanted to get to know their story. They want to get to know my story. And so, just expect an interview every Saturday around this time. And today, I kind of want to share how I came across Monavation on Instagram. I don't know if you guys remember a few months back, I interviewed the life engineer Shazia Imam, like way back in like winter of 2024, and she was working out a lot with Mona, and I was like, she's so cool, she's so fit, I love her content. I mean, the moves that you've shown on your page, I always save them and I try to bring it over to my sister's fitness on Saturdays. Like, it's
Oh,
just
I love it.
it's easy. And I was like, okay, she's doing, you know, high knees, she's doing mountain climber, she's doing squats. So I'm like, hey, like it's nice to see a sister do it. And so you can have other women see like, hey, she's doing it like this and she's showing us modifications. And so I would always share with them the clips you shared, and even the recent one you shared about squats and why they're beneficial. And so I've just been obsessed and just in love with her content. And I try to hit her up, and we've been trying to get an interview together. So this was the time that worked out for us, now in July, mid-year. So before, we get to it, I just want you to give us a little quick intro about your name, where you're based, and, I guess where you're hanging out right now, because your studio looks awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am Coach Mona, which, Shakira, I have run Monavation here in Dallas Fort Worth, but I am worldwide because I am an online fitness coach and an in person. So I have a best of both worlds. I love what I do, and I'm really out there for women. So I have a big women clientele, and we support one another along this journey. And I teach fitness from 4:30 a.m. onwards, pretty much almost 6 days a week, sometimes seven. It depends on which client needs what.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, I
Thank
see
you.
your classes when you're posting your people, and I just love the community that you've kind of brought together.
Thank you. Thank you. So we do pretty much, we have once they sign up with Monavation, we usually have a self-care group chat. And that self-care group chat is where they're all in. So it's really great. It's a community effort. Someone cooks a good dinner, they send over the recipe, or someone else, goes, oh, I just went this morning. I had two ladies did their walks in the morning, Saturday walk done. And then guess what? That encourages the other sisters to be like, hey, they did it. Let's get up. Let's get out there. And so we all help one another at the end of the day. It's not just a one person game.
Right. It is an absolute beautiful community. You spoil them with the gifts and encouragement. I always see them tagging you saying, oh, she got us like summer moon gift cards. And like, you don't, you're not like, you reward them for their efforts, and
Yeah.
you're not too strict on, like cut this out, cut that out.
Yeah, so I believe there's no such thing as a diet. I really believe in the lifestyle habit. I'm very, when it comes to natural, I'm very naturalistic. Like if you want your protein, the first main tell them is get it from your whole foods. But then at times, some people can't get to their numbers. So then I'll be like, okay, well, get the cleanest protein powder that there in the market. Such as in my case, I use Trevani, 6 ingredients, and it helps. So examples like that is given throughout, but every person and every individual, it's not a cookie cutter. Every single person has a different journey they're on. And I always say this, just because you see something online doesn't mean that's for you. You should always find out, hey, is this meal plan something for me with what my body's going through? Because at every stage, your body will go through some other change, especially women and our hormones. And as we age, there's muscle mass reduction. So there's different things you have to put in your body.
Wow, wow, that is so important. I'm so glad you brought up muscle mass reduction. Like, what are some tips that you would give to the ladies who are maybe above the age of 30 or 40 who have never been around strength training and never lifted anything? Like, where would you recommend we start, you know?
Yeah, of course. So pretty much the way it works is once you've reached 30 and above, you start to lose at least 1% or a little below 1%, okay, of that muscle reduction. Then as you get older and let's say you get to your 40s, 50s, 60s, that number starts to increase. So if you're not implementing strength training in your life, you're going to start to feel that, the tiredness, the fatigueness, the weakness, that strength starts to diminish. And most important thing I tell people, it's not by the way you look. Sometimes someone will look at someone and be like, hey, well, they wear size zero pants. They're fit. Incorrect. I have people that could be size zero or they could be size 20. Your strength is dependent on what you do day to day. And then, of course, to fuel it up and feel better, you want to have good nutrition, alongside that. But for weights wise, to answer your question, I always say you start off low because weights are very easily to where you will start to damage your body as well. Rotator cuff tear, this knee problem, this back problem. So you want to always start with the lower weights and then slowly start to increase it in a specific time frame that works for you. So that way okay, I'm ready to move on up. This is so easy. There's nothing stopping me. If I lift up into a hammer curl and I'm doing this, that weight is still heavy for you. But if you're just like this, then okay, you know what? I'm ready to take it up that other notch. So that's what you want to look out for, but you want to start. And there's so many things at our fingertips now. We have YouTube, recordings from all various types of personal trainers out there or group fitness trainers. You have apps, you have free apps, you have purchase apps, and then you have trainers like me that are doing live sessions. And so there's a win-win at every corner. It depends what your personality is like and what you enjoy.
Wow, that is phenomenal. That is really helpful. And it gives me hope because I feel like when I meet with the sisters at the mosque every Saturday and we come together, most of them are moms. Some of them have
Great.
never done a push up in their life or a
Yeah.
squat or, they love the jumping jacks. They love the cardio. But when it comes
Yeah.
to strength training and the lunges were a little wonky, a little wobbly. I'm like, okay, we can't mess this up, ladies. I need you to, really take your time with this.
Yes.
Just do the best you can. It's just we've just come from that generation of like cardio heavy weight loss
Yeah.
equals fitness, improvement.
Yeah.
Whereas we never looked at it as like stamina, strength,
Of
confidence,
course.
posture. It's changing the
Yeah.
perception of fitness. It's not just about I want to lose 50 pounds. It's more like
Yeah.
I want to be able to keep up with my kids and my
Of
grandkids.
course.
So it's
Yes,
I
absolutely.
like how you said that it doesn't matter if you're a size 0 or a size 20.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think once we take that out of our head, it really makes the journey fun because it sometimes does, naturally we're women and sometimes there is that competition. And I say focus on you because if you focus on you, you'll be there for your loved ones or for whatever you want to be there for, be it for your career, be it for, hey, I want to be there for my girlfriends. I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for my spouse, whatever the scenario, just taking care of yourself first, put your oxygen mask on, plus help them is a win-win. But make sure you do both. Don't do too much of one thing either. I know that happens too in this time and lifestyle, right? But you want to balance, just like you want to balance in your nutrition, just like you want to balance in your training. You want to balance in exactly why you're doing this. And then for you, Shakira, that's so neat. I love the fact that you have taken time out on Saturdays for something you love. I know you love fitness. I've seen your stuff. I've talked to you many times. And now you're there giving your time and giving back to the women of your masjid.
Yes, girl, sometimes they make me work, girl. I'm like, I'm out of breath, y'all. You guys got to need to come in time. They're bringing their kids. I'm like, gotta put the kids in the babysitting room because I need you to have just
Of
1
course.
hour where it's about you. And I think for
Yeah.
women to get that hour to themselves, it's just everything, you know?
Yeah. It really
And
is.
yeah, it's just hard for them to kind of step away from the kid just for an hour,
Yeah.
just so you could get a little, we just march in place sometimes,
Yeah.
we do modified jumping jacks, we do a mix of Pilates, a mix of yoga, and
Great.
we just do what we can with what we have. And I told them, I was like, hey, I am going to try to bring on, Coach Mona one of these days. So you all better not make me look bad.
That's
I'm
so
just like,
funny.
I know that you'll put them to work. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm like doing it any easier, but I
Yeah.
was like, what does a session with you look like? Like in a fitness
Yeah.
class or a one-on-one? Let's focus on the fitness class. Like, how
Yeah.
are we starting and how are we finishing? Like, because
Yes,
because
of course.
because if you think about it, it's a diverse group of individuals. Like I say,
Yeah.
some who've never done a squat in their life or a push-up, who are
Yeah.
walking in those doors. Like, how do you greet them and make them feel safe and welcome? Do you know?
Yes, I agree. So what I do is I first find out, if they're new, they're going to sign up for the class. They're going to fill out the form. They'll inform me at that time if they have any health issues, if they are new to the game. And once they walk in, it's a win-win because we create this environment of lifting one another up. There's a no judgment zone here. If you're going to judge someone, you're coming here to look at someone else that can't do the push-up next to you, you are welcome to walk out the studio because we will never increase our confidence and increase as a community of women if we do that to one another. So when they come in, we always start off with dynamic warm-ups. Dynamic warm-ups are warm-ups that aren't just still. So you can't just hold your leg and just stay there. They're movement type warm-ups, so that way the body is getting ready for the workout. Now for workout sequences, I'll give my example of Sunday sessions because I have at least anywhere from 10 to 15 that come right here in person, plus all the women that come on Zoom. So we do it all together. It's every Sunday class, and we'll do like this Sunday, tomorrow, I have floor Pilates for them. So it's going to be 50 minutes of leg, hip, and booty burning workout. And
Love
then
it.
sometimes, be strength, and then sometimes it'll be yoga. It just depends what time of the month we're in, right? Because we want to make sure we're stretching. We want to make sure we're getting that flexibility up. We want to make sure we're doing strength training. So we're getting a mix of a little bit of every workout, but workouts that work for them. I will give an example of your question. If someone comes in and let's say they have a knee issue, my clients already know, I know that. So when you come to a group session with me, it's not your local gym where, oh, I'm not going to correct you, or I'm just doing the session, do as much as you can, whatever you can't do, don't. Instead, it would be like, oh, you have a knee problem, please, you're not going to do a full squat, you're doing a high squat, and I'll scream it out to that sister, or hey, I have this issue, I can't do push-ups, no problem. My ladies who are new here today, go ahead and we're going to do your modified push-ups against the wall, and then I'll show them modified, and then I'll show the ones that are advanced and intermediate, and they'll get to do theirs. So everyone, even in a group session, gets to do the move that suits their body because, again, injury prone is so high.
Wow, girl. That is so cool. Okay, I want to sign up. I mean, do you give us a little trial, like a little sample,
Of
or like a
course, of course. You are more than welcome. We do complimentary consultations. So that's the first thing. I chit chat with you. We'd find out what your health history is, where you are in your journey. And then we would take it from there. You come on for a trial, a couple of sessions, and then you get the vibe. You'd see how I do it. You see how I run my classes. You see where the connection is with us. Because at the end of the day, like I said, to build that confidence, that consistency, you have to be able to relate with your trainer too. So you have to have some type of, mutual respect, mutual understanding. This relationship forms. And I always tell people, like all the clients I have, I just went to Vegas. I'm thinking about them. I'm running my video recordings from there. So they have broadcast sessions. I'm messaging them. So we just stay in touch like pretty much all the time. So that's my family when it comes after my kids and husband. That's my family.
wow, wow. I am so happy that they have you and your support
Thank you.
and your expertise and just I
Thank
mean,
you.
women, we need our tribe. We need our
Yes.
community. we need
Yes,
one another to kind of lean on. I mean, we're not, gonna just figure it out on our own,
absolutely.
It's just so nice to have that meaningful connection and that support.
Absolutely. Shakira, I believe that's how we increase, right? Like we got to help each other, but at the same time, like I said, you got to help yourself too. So if you know you need to start working out, you could start off just with, a 15-minute walk a day. Like you have to see where you are as an individual in life and what works for you. I have people that just because running is such a big trend now. Everyone wants to run. I mean, I'm a running ambassador for Run Irving and I love running, but I wouldn't suggest running for every single person, because depending on your health history, running could make you bloat. It could be making you gain more weight. So
Mhm.
you want to make sure that it is for you and what you're needing in your life. So that way you get to your goals. And sometimes, I tell people the slower it's working, sometimes the better. Because if you just lose all this weight so quickly, that's usually those type of fads, that come in place and then you just gain it all back. So you don't want that either, extreme dieting and all that stuff. You want to have a good nutritional balance so that way you have the energy, you have the focus, you have the mindset, and you want to keep pushing to go forward, or else it's always no, 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 instead of finding something that you could replace with it, and that works out better at the end of the day, psychologically speaking.
That's more sustainable. It's more long term.
Yes.
Let's think about not rather than like just the now, but think about the future.
Yeah,
Something that I can keep doing for the next 10,
exactly.
20 years and like build it up because you see all these hot trends and you just want to hop on and get a quick fix. I mean, now
Yeah.
with everybody on Ozempic. I mean, the
Yeah.
skinny, it's coming back. The
Yeah.
real thin look is in now, and
Yeah.
like if you think about it, even the plus size or like the more I don't know muscular
Yeah.
or thicker women or
Yeah.
celebrities, they're just kind of slimming down. And I'm not saying like what, like it's all Ozempic, but like I just like how fitness can just look different. It can present differently
Yeah.
on different bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And that's the beauty
So
of it. You're on point. That's like bullseye because if you don't feel good, but you're just doing a fitness class, that's not fun either. You have to find something you like, be it it's a boxing class, be it it's a mixed class like what I offer, or, be it to where it's just, hey, I just want to walk in my life. And that's my detox moment because things happen in life, stress happens and you don't not necessarily have to be going through something for your body to feel stress. And with women, stress reacts so different in our bodies. A man could work out, my husband could be working out, I could be working out, and it's a totally different journey. In a week, he looks like a totally different man. And I'm like, dude, you just started. But when I do it, of course, it's going to be a little different because of our, hormones, our menstruation, things our bodies are going through. And we have to accept that so that way we can figure out what works for us, and how are we going to help ourselves so that way we have a better tomorrow when we wake up from that bed.
wow, that is so true. And I'm so glad you brought up the hormonal thing, and especially with the classes that I'm offering, there are a lot of women who are like, hey, I'm expecting, should I
Yeah.
work out? What would you say to women that are pregnant? What would
Yeah.
you did you because there some who were chiming in saying, hey, I worked out every day of my pregnancy, even my
Yeah.
delivery due date. And they were
Of
like, I did
course.
everything but like the ab workouts. So like all the sisters were encouraging, like, hey, come through. We
Yeah.
can work with you.
Yeah. So I say that you do work out unless you have specific complications with your pregnancy that makes your physician say, hey, you can't work out. But a lot of times it's more low impact. It'll still be low impact in the first trimester. Then it gets a little bit to where you're still working out normal in the middle. And then towards the end, you're usually doing more so concentration on prenatal yoga. Prenatal yoga is so great for them and it really helps them, especially through the delivery process and after. But working out throughout your pregnancy keeps it going, right? It's that consistency again. Once you go down, it's sometimes very tough to come back up, right? So you want to just keep some type of consistency. So if you're pregnant, I highly suggest, I've had a lot of clients be pregnant and work out unless you have underlining very serious conditions, then that's a completely different case.
Right, right. That's good to know. Just like, it's
Yeah.
just good to know that they're just have that word of encouragement and like,
Yes.
that kind of take that, precautions and just kind of, listen to your physician, of course,
Yes.
just listen to your body and do what's,
Yes.
most gentle, but you're still having some sort of a routine because I
Yes.
mean, even when you're in like the delivery room, I mean, they say, "Oh, do squats and do this, do that," like just to kind of help you out, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So you just want to keep moving. Movement is key in life. Movement is key for living. That's why movement is different for everyone, and movement needs to happen. You could be. I've taught classes for elderly where they're sitting just like this, and then they're doing, a chair workout, and they're moving their body. But movement is there, and that's what you have to see. And that's why it's so important that not everyone's just a cookie cutter, because it's
Right,
not. It can't be.
right.
Everyone's body is going through something else, and you have to just help them regulate and go through it the best you can. And of course, nutrition. I always scream this out because it's true. 80% is nutrition, what you fuel your body with, 20% is workout. Are workouts important still more than 20%? Yes, they are, because you need that strength. You need that energy given to your body, right? So that way you have a better tomorrow. But if you're doing that and not fueling your system good, usually you end up working out and feeling extra lethargic. You're feeling like, okay, I can't do this. You're mentally drained. Negative thoughts increase. So these are things you want to look out for and then start fueling right. Start off with the basics. I tell people start off with one thing you can change in your life and then slowly take it. If you take drastic steps, that's not like what you stated. You want something long term. So don't just do something so drastic and you're like, oh, next week I'm going to binge eat it, because now you've lost quick, gain quick, lost quick, gain quick. And it's a yo yo. And that yo yo messes with each and every one of our metabolism. And that's what you don't want.
Wow. Okay, so what is your go-to? And what do
Yes.
you recommend for those of us who like a little bit of the more sweeter things? Where do you think I should start as far as my summer moon order goes?
Okay, so for your summer moon order, you can always there's a difference from having a flex meal and then it's like a daily thing. If it's a daily thing, of course, the first thing recommendation is like, okay, just have black coffee. But then if you need some milk, then have plant-based milks. Almond milk is great. If you're like, I can't take that, then you know what? Oat milk is not the best, I'll be very honest, but it's still better if it's digesting because your, core can't take all that milk and dairy. So that's fine. And then at times I tell people if it's a flex meal, like you're like, hey, it's a Saturday, I eat healthy all the time, and this is my one thing, then go enjoy, take that half winter moon or a half summer moon, because now you have a little bit of that balance. You're getting that fun sweetness, but at the same time, you're getting that coffee taste. But again, it's your flex meal. I don't believe in cheat meals. Cheat meals means you're doing something wrong. If you're taking care of yourself, 95% of the time, and there's that one item you want once in a while, it's okay. We can't be that hard on ourselves either, because that as well too, that mental drainage can come right there in bloatingness into our stomachs.
Wow, wow. So what is your go-to? And how often are we
Yeah.
drinking this?
So if we're going to drink it, it is that once a week, like I said. If it's something flex meal, otherwise, yeah, it's the basic, just your coffee with your milk, plant-based milk, and enjoy that.
Wow, wow. Well, just I'm gonna be honest, it's I'm working on, cutting it back, but I mean it is something that, I will say I kind of go for the full sweetened, 16
Oh, so
ounce.
you do the full one. Okay.
I do,
But that
I
does
do.
taste good. I'm
I'm
not
so
gonna lie.
sorry.
That does taste good.
It does, but it's like I was like, if I could give this up, it would just, I'm not saying solve all my problems, but like there would be a significant decrease in weight,
Yeah.
in maybe the belly. I mean, all of that sugar,
Yes.
they tell you like
Yeah.
keep an eye on it because like I'm 34. I'm definitely on, I guess, on the bigger side, like I think if I look at my BMI, they might say I'm morbidly obese,
Okay.
for as far as the BMI goes, and of course, like, I'm 5'1", and
Okay.
I am, a little bit over, what okay, not a little bit over, I'm definitely on the bigger side, like without giving away my weight, and so but I still do enjoy,
Yeah.
movement, dance,
Yes.
activities, and just community, and I also love food,
Yeah.
and I am trying to find a nice middle, like a good
Yeah.
middle, and something where I'm not like I'm able to travel more and
Of
walk
course.
more, hike
Yeah.
more, because if you want
Yes.
to travel the world, if you want to go anywhere, you need
Yeah.
to get walking, you need to have
Yeah.
movement in your life,
Of course.
so I mean,
And you
I'm
do.
yeah.
You do, Shakira. I've noticed that. Like, that's what, compliment yourself because I love that about you. I love that you do movement. I love that you try to get movement in every single day. So you've started your journey. Now, when it comes to Summer Moon, that's your one thing that you have this, you're excited. You go, let's be honest, Summer Moon coffee beans taste amazing, that wood fire taste. But you know what you could do to start with? And this is what I would tell my client. You don't go from a full summer moon and go all the way down to no sweetness because how does that happen, right? That's cold turkey. And then you're just a little upset. You're drinking it with a face. We don't want that. So slowly just take it down. Maybe start with the 3/4 winter moon, okay? And I've had the 3/4 before. It's still very sweet, right? But at least it's not full. And then slowly you'll be like, okay, you know what? I want the half winter moon. And that's how you do it. But don't be so hard on yourselves on what you're not doing. First, compliment yourself on what you're doing because I love it. I see yourself, and this is why I'm here today on your show because I love what you do. I love how you're pushing people around you. I love how you're taking, I don't know who this YouTube friend is who's always like, or some friend, oh, my friend is here. And then you have her at Instagram on there and she's there again at the gym. So I see you got a workout buddy now.
Yes.
And I love that, you're doing what you need to do. But for when it comes to the sweet side, because sugar does have such a big effect on our extra body weight, that bloatingness, and then of course your lethargicness and the crash downs. So then slowly just take it down. Just don't do anything cold turkey, but enjoy the phase, how you're taking it down so you can enjoy every phase. Okay, love?
Yeah, I appreciate you so much, Mona. Like, that was so realistic, because I'm being honest. Like, I'm not perfect, I I'm not saying I'm an addict, but that moon milk, they're putting something in there,
They
and
are. And have you ever gone on their website, like YouTube, and seen like different creations of it? And nothing tastes like it. I've tried some for fun. Nothing tastes like it.
yeah. So I'm like, I mean, I was like thinking, I'm like, this moon milk is something special, and it just
Yeah.
got me hooked, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
wean back, just a little bit, just kind of
Good
let go
job.
one day at a time, because I love, like, I want to rely on, like, of course, like the natural energy you get, like
Of
the
course.
endorphins you get from, being on the
Yeah.
elliptical for 30 minutes, or just
Yeah.
doing a class, and you just feel like
Yeah.
you just walk out of there with, like, that stress levels going down, and then the endorphins going up, the dopamine going up.
Yeah.
You get all those good, you know,
Absolutely.
neurotransmitters and hormones and everything. You just feel so good. So I'm just like trying to kind of, like, yes, let go of the excessive sugar, the additional,
Of course.
like, addictions or habits,
Yeah.
and focus on, the more, you know like, just habits that, like, the future me will thank me
Yeah.
for.
Yes, yes. The future you is what you do want to look at too, because we all age, right? We don't go backwards. And you stated it right. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, but we have to show up. Sometimes I get people and they're like, "Well, we're not motivated." I was like, "You don't need to be motivated because if you're motivated all the time." I'm scared because that's not how life works, right? You have so many different things that come. You have your PMS time. And our hormones do stuff to our body. And so you might not be motivated all the time. You just have to seriously create this discussion with yourself that I just got to show up. Show
Right.
up first. And if it's 5 minutes you do, I remember I had a client once and she's like, I don't know if I can do the full class. She has something going on. And I was like, just show up. She showed up. She did 10 minutes. Then she did 15 again. Then she did 20. And guess what? She was back at the 30 to 45, 50-minute sessions. But it took a while because she needed that. That's what her body needed. Her body couldn't just go through a full class and say, okay, that's it. She needed to show up at her pace, but still show up. And that's what we want for each and every one of us, is to show up in life so that way we can keep pushing forward and keep trying.
Wow, thank you so much, Mona. Oh my God. I'm
You're
gonna
very
start to
welcome.
wrap it up. We are meeting our mark right now. I kind of want to know, how can people get in touch with you and, get in contact with you and work with you, get a sample session on?
Of course, of course. So you can just go on my website. It's www.mymonavation.com. And then there's on there, you can sign up for a consult, complimentary consult again. You could send me messages on there. You could find me on Instagram, Monavation and then a hyphen, excuse me. And then you could just talk to me on Instagram. I message back those who message me on Instagram. I will not keep you on red, so we can have a discussion, conversation if needed. Or if you guys just have any questions, reach out. I do work with a lot of youth as well. Every Monday evening, I've been doing that for many years. So if you have kids that you're, wanting something or needing questions answered about, then reach out to me too about that, and I'll be here for you guys.
Wow, that is awesome. And um what are your goals for your community, for your tribe? Like, what do you want to see, in yourself and in your business and in your community? Like, I mean, we're still in the midway mark. We still have a whole 5 months left. So what
Yes.
would you want to see in your community?
Honestly, a lot of networking. I love when the women and girls, I say, because I do have you too, they meet one another. They talk, they each might have businesses. Then we support their businesses, supporting one another and growing. I'm doing an event at Paxton Beneficia Coffee Shop August 8th. They're an amazing group that I'm working with in Los Colinas. And that's how you get the word out about health. First and foremost, get people to move, kind of like what you're doing with your masjid. So I want to keep increasing that here at Monavation. I want to get the women on their high of working out, taking care of themselves, and then enjoying the life that they have.
Wow, awesome. You have got to come through and teach one of our courses.
I would
Um,
love to.
yeah, one of these weekends we'll put it together, we'll make it work, and
Yes,
we'll compensate, we'll come together and we'll make it happen, because we want to
we will
respect your
make it happen.
time and your travel, and you taking out the time in your busy schedule to come through. I think it'd be cool, even if we had like a little virtual thing going where you
Yeah.
could show us from your studio and we can kind of follow along.
Yes, yes, yes. We could do virtual, we could do in person because I love traveling to Austin. And then I could have a coffee with you, a coffee date with you, and that could be our flex meal. But I would love that. I would love to come down to Austin, meet you in person, keep doing what you're doing. And I am so honored to be here online right now with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. And for everyone who is watching, please go give her a follow and work with her, and give this video a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. We are still trying to, meet our goals for YouTube and fitness, you name it, everywhere. So I will let you all go. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.
Bye bye.
Bye.